if I had to go back and go through all of that I went through, all the abuse, all the trauma, all the molestation, the rape, everything, to be who I am today, for them to, but now for you to help inspire you to go get your story out, that's what I'm here for. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day 25 of the free 30-day challenge inside the Uncaged free group. And man, we're coming up to the end of the 30-day challenge, and specifically about like relationships. Man, it's this one's been probably, like, for me personally, it feels like the hardest one to talk about. Only because I'm so convicted about the different relationships, both between yourself, your spouse, your children, strangers, things of that nature, and like the mental toll that it does have on people when you're not focused on these relationships. And I know that, like, it can lose some people, so I don't want to lose the momentum, and especially as we go into the next 5 days, the last 5 days, which are all about accountability hacks, because, like, we are an accountability group. But part of that accountability group is, like, having these hard conversations. Like I said, between today and the previous 4 days, talking about, like, relationship focused, homework and stuff like that. It's kind of quirky, right? Which leads me into what we're going to be talking about today, which is sharing your story. I'm going to try and be relatively brief on this video because I want to give you more time to actually get the homework done and eliminate excuses from you getting the homework done. Oh man, I had to watch a long video and then I didn't have time to talk about my story. For those of the people that have been around VIP for long enough, especially the ones that were at our first couples retreat, y'all got to hear me share something that outside of the people in that room, no one other than my wife knew. And this is stuff that I've been walking around, on my shoulders for 30 years now. And it was, I don't want to call it detrimental, and I don't even want to call it traumatic, because it's huge. I mean, it's molestation, it's rape, it's, past traumas, it's infidelity, my story is pretty fucking wild. But I had never talked about it on such a real level. And the clarity that I've gained, not only on, like, coming forefront with, like, some of the details with my wife specifically, but even, like, people that I truly consider family, has been monumental in me progressing forward to be able to help use my story, impact other people, right? Which is a big part of, like, what we want to talk about here. But not only that, again, I say this with such a conviction that I don't mean that I don't care about the other people, but my loyalty is to you. And so while your story is going to impact others greatly, it's about what it can do for you. And people don't understand the level of impact that something as simple as sharing your story can have. And while, albeit if it's something that's got to be private, that's written out on hand and you light it on fire later, or you type it all out and then you just simply fucking delete it, or, my request for you, for what you're willing to, and I want you to be open here and honest and transparent and vulnerable. And this is what the kind of stuff that Uncaged is about. Is we are not people that tell you what you want to hear. We're people that tell you what you need to hear. And equally as much, like, we're here to truly hear you. So anyways, with that said, depression levels for people that, like, keep this shit buried are 30% higher than ones that, like, actually get out there and get things off their chest, which is huge for a lot of people when you start to think about something as simple as just talking about it. And then, like, part of me is like, I want to, like, remove, the objection. I want to get that brick wall out from in front of your face that, like, in Uncaged, with us being an accountability group, and there's literally thousands of men from all across the world in the group. The VIP group is hundreds of men that have understood that when you surround yourself with like-minded men like we are doing, there's people that have been through it, are going through it, or will go through it. So as much as like I want to not confront you, but comfort you in being empathetic towards the story that you have, is that there's others in the group that can relate. And I mean, we're talking, I know a lot of the members on a very, very deep and intimate level. And there's guys that have been through some absolutely horrible things that like I would not wish on my worst enemy. And there's multiples that have gone through that same exact horror. And so to see them be able to come together and embrace each other and support each other, because they're all at different walks down that journey together, and they get to come together and for lack of better terms, hold hands and lock arms and work together to get through this and to support each other on a level that like I can't support them at that level because I haven't experienced it. I can want to be empathetic in the sense that I can relate some things that I've gone through to the level that they're hurting, but like I had not experienced that exact thing. Whereas there's other men that have been able to be that level of support that they need, but it's because they open their mouth. And we don't know what you're going through, and we can't read your mind. But when you start to step into this vulnerability and transparency and authenticity, it relieves that stress off your shoulders. Actually, it improves your stress levels by like 15 or 20% just by doing that. But then, it helps pull you out of that depression because you understand that there's other people that can relate to you. And through this process, you will start to see in this thread live in front of us, because I haven't asked any of the guys to go lead the way here. Like what you're about to see in this homework thread is true, genuine responses from real men opening up and telling their story. And there's going to be shit in there that you can relate with. There's going to be some shit in there that breaks your heart. There's going to be some shit in there that inspires you. But like, I am here for you. My loyalty is to you for this, is to get into this thread and tell your story. And, part of this is this exercise will actually help you build up your resilience, like getting this off your chest and getting this out there in the open. And like I said, there's nothing that I haven't heard from the guys in the VIP group. We talk about this kind of stuff on the roundtable calls in a very real way. Like I told you, like I just told you a big part of my story. I didn't go into details, but like, I mean, there's some very serious stuff that has come from my past that I would never wish on my worst enemy, and like I would never want to go through again. But like I am the man today because of that stuff. So I am thankful for that, because I love who I am today. I'm always looking to get better. I am not perfect. I'm not saying that, but like I love me. And part of that has been this journey that I've gone down in the last several years of personal development and getting over my past traumas and getting through some of the stuff that I've experienced and telling my story. I mean, I wrote a book about a majority of it, and I get to go do events where I speak on stage and I get to talk about this stuff. And then I get to be at, the couples retreats for Uncaged, and I get to tell the details in an intimate setting and cry in front of some people, being the first time I'd ever met them. But I'm doing it for me, the resilience, 25% increase in resilience moving forward. And again, like I said many times on this challenge, like these statistics, they infatuate me because I see other people have been through it, and it feels fake. It feels like a made up number until you start to really work through it like we're doing here and see it in your own life. I can literally tell you from the first couples retreat to where I am today, and going into details in such an insane, level, that my resilience has grown from it. Not only that, so another one is like your social bond that you get from opening up and being vulnerable and being transparent and being honest. It grows by like 40%. So like I can tell you, like I have a stronger bond with the men in Uncaged because like they know my story. Like they really know my story. And, I look at some of the friends that I've had for lifelong friends. They don't know this story or these stories. They for sure don't know them to the detail that the VIP members know. We're talking, I've known some of these guys a fraction of some of the friends that I've literally known 20, 25 years plus. And so this social bond, that being able to share your story like this, can actually help increase by 40%. Not only that, we talked about it yesterday. I think we maybe hit on it 2 days ago as well. But this experiment, I don't want to call it an experiment, this homework will actually unlock empathy in you by like 30%. When you share your story, truly like get your message out there, as well as you start to go through and see some of these other men's stories, and you see what they've been through. You see the walks of life that they've had. Some of y'all are going to be able to feel their pain through reading their stories. Some of you are going to be able to relate on a level that even I can't relate to, because maybe I haven't been through that specific scenario, but you can. It's going to help you increase your empathy by 30%. Not only that, obviously, that's going to help create a tighter support group. I mean, that's why we live and die in Uncaged by these in-person retreats. Don't get me wrong. Roundtable calls are absolutely incredible. Do not get me wrong. Expert calls are absolutely incredible. Do not get me wrong. The daily communication in the group chat is incredible. You can't take any of that away from the VIP program. But these in-person retreats where we get to meet each other and shake hands with each other and break bread with each other and brainstorm and network with each other and just get to know the people behind the businesses. We get to experience this on such a deep and intimate level. And it's actually been proven based on these studies that you're able to build up a support for yourself. Well, the way the report comes in is that people that openly talk about their stories and have actually gotten it off their chest have seen an 85% increase in support. So like, again, you see these guys, maybe it's been other groups that you've been a part of or other networks that you've been a part of, or if you've tried other things and, you see these guys that just want you to see their highlight reel. That's why I hate social media. Like, everyone wants you to see them at their best and not like who they truly are. They've got this fake persona and they're living a double life. Whereas when you start to, pull back the curtain of like what Uncaged really is and take a peek into like the VIP program, or come to the retreats, you actually will see statistically an increase of 85% in your support. It's wild. One of the big reasons we do the roundtable calls the way we do is like, man, like if you just closed a big deal or you have something like you're super excited over that is like to other people, maybe it be taboo or maybe it be something that isn't discussed or, whatever the case is, coming from generations that raised us, like you don't talk about money, you don't talk about what people made, you don't talk about this, that, whatever. Whereas like going down a professional development route, like you get excited to share your wins. And so anyways, like maybe you just like close like a $50,000 deal and you want to talk to someone about it, but like you can't go to your hometown friends because they're going to think that you're bragging. They're going to think that you're trying to one up them. They're going to think that you think that you're better than them when that's not the case at all. You're just excited. And that's what's really cool to be able to see, like, especially inside of Uncaged, is you get to see that support, right? Like, so you may be going through life and not have the support level that you want. Here's your opportunity in the homework to tell your story, and you will feel this statistic. I'm willing to bet that statistic, that study doesn't include Uncaged, because we're a different type of men. We're a different type of community where like we truly care about seeing others grow and develop. And it's cool too, because like as you'll see through this, through part of the study is the people that were open and honest about their stories and talked about it openly, they saw a 20% increase in just self-understanding. I'll tell you, like, I think I've mentioned on the 30-day challenge. I know I've talked about it on like some of the podcasts, and I've spoken about it in the roundtable calls. But even when the advertisements for one of one of our retreats we did in Scottsdale, one of the sound bites that came out of it was, in this world that we live in, I study all these statistics, right? I study all these studies and reports, and we study all these skill sets or industries or things that we want to learn. Maybe it is even just for our personal life, but we don't study ourselves. Here is a step for you and going down that path of truly understanding yourself, because telling your story, people see a 20% increase in self-understanding. And then, not only that, like, my wife runs a women's only, empowerment group, and empowerment and support group. And empowerment is such a big thing, especially among women. But even though arguably more so for men, where we're told not to talk about this kind of stuff. We're told not to be emotional. We're told we can't have feelings. We're told, all this stuff is, completely against what we've grown up believing. And so, like, for me, it's like, man, I want to empower my fucking homies. These are my fucking boys. These are the guys that I fucking ride with. I want to empower you. Like, I am telling you right now, every story that comes down in this thread, we have 100 guys signed up that are going to go through this live with us at the launch of the 30-day challenge. We also, there's no telling how many hundreds and thousands of people are going to go through this 30-day challenge in its lifetime. And I'm going to read every story because I want to empower you. I want to empower you. I want to see what you're going through, and I want to give you that support. Now, I'm telling you, full transparency, myself, the other VIP members, we may not interact, engage, and comment on every single one of them as they come in. That's a full-time job. We will be reading them. I promise you I will be reading all of them. I promise you I'm going to do my best to engage in on all of them. And I'm willing to bet that at some point I will get through everything. And I will get caught up. And I will be able to read this stuff. But I want to empower you. And I know the other VIP members are here to empower you. And they're going to support you there. And then the next is purpose. The people that got this off their chest, that really, really got deep with who they are, saw a 25% increase in purpose. I can't tell you how many men we talk to as they come into Uncaged with no purpose. I told you guys earlier on, and I'll reiterate it now. This 30-day challenge has been specifically created based on things that we have heard from men just like you. In fact, maybe even you. We have listened to the last, I hate timestamping these, but at the time that this was created, we had 18 months of experience of our VIP program. We had 12 months of experience in our with our free group, and then we put 15 men ranging all the way from just starting their business to multi-million-dollar a year business owners through a beta test of a BAP coaching program that cost actual money now to go through. And we took the common denominators and created the outline of what we were going to be going over. And to think about how many fucking men we've talked to, hundreds of men we've talked to, thousands of men we've interacted with inside the free group that aren't aware of their purpose in life. Here's your chance. Talk about it, 1%. That's our goal. Here's your chance to 25x that. 25% increase in purpose because you went out there and you told your story. You put your story out there in the world for the world to interpret. And then the last thing, I know I talked about it. I didn't want to make this long because I truly want you to spend time on this, is there's a 45% increase in others on how they were inspired by reading someone else's story. So you have a 45% increase opportunity at hand to go out there and share your story to inspire someone else. That's why I tell my story as much as I do is I hope I can inspire you and give you permission to forgive yourself. You aren't the man that you used to be. You aren't stuck going through the shit that you once did, the past traumas that you went through, everything that has led to where you are today. I may fucking hate it for you. I hate everything that Heather has gone through, but it's made her that badass fucking wife and mother that she is today. And man, I would never wish this on anyone, much less my fucking wife. But if I had to sit back and watch her go through all that over again to be the woman that she is today, for the man that I am today, and for the daughter that we are raising, likewise, if I had to go back and go through all that I went through, all the abuse, all the trauma, all the molestation, the rape, everything, to be who I am today, for them to, but now for you to help inspire you to go get your story out, that's what I'm here for. So, today it's day 25. We're wrapping up having relationship-based focus, and we're about to get into accountability, and this is it. I told you that from day 1 of September 1st, when we originally launched this, to the end of the 30-day challenge, you were going to be a different fucking man. You are going to be a different fucking man at the end of this. We're 25 days in now. We're almost there. The light's at the end of the tunnel. I know it's been hard. I know this has been a long process, a lot of homework, a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking, and a lot of growth. But it's a moment like right now that's going to completely change you, completely change your fucking soul and your DNA, and turn you into that version of yourself that you're meant to be. So get in there, click on the link to hop into the homework and the brainstorm thread. I want to hear your story. And there's other guys in here that want to hear it too. So get in there, tell us your story, and we'll see you tomorrow.